All right, let's dive into what many people call the single greatest rivalry in all of sports. Seriously, it's a contest that brings two entire nations to a dead standstill, where every single moment is just charged with history, with pressure, and an unbelievable amount of passion.
So, what is it that turns a simple game into, well, a legend? Is it just the players on the field? Or is it the immense weight of history behind them? To really find the answer, let's just start with a moment of pure, unscripted chaos. That's what Virat Kohli said, an athlete at the absolute peak of his powers, just moments after he dragged India to an impossible win against Pakistan in the 2022 T20 World Cup. In front of 90,000 screaming fans, he pulled off a run chase that just defied all logic. It was a match that perfectly captures the heart-stopping drama of this whole thing.
But look, to really understand why a single performance like that can feel so monumental, we have to zoom out a bit. Because this isn't just about cricket. The intensity, it comes from the fact that these matches are basically cultural and political events that reflect these really deep-seated national identities and passions. And that, right there, is the heart of it. It was all born from a shared history, the painful partition of the subcontinent. So for millions of fans on both sides of that border, this is just so much more than a game. Every single ball that's bowled, every shot that's played, it carries the weight of that history. It's national pride played out on a 22-yard pitch.
So when you have that kind of intense, pressure cooker environment, well, it's been the perfect stage for some of the most legendary, nail-biting finishes the sport has ever seen. These are the moments that become actual folklore.
Let's go way back to 1986, the Australia Asia Cup final. Just picture the scene. Pakistan needs an insane 6 runs to win off the very last ball of the match. With one explosive swing of the bat, Javed Miandad launches the ball for a 6, creating this moment of pure sporting drama that people are still talking about decades later.
Now, fast forward to the first ever T20 World Cup final. The tension was just unbearable. As you can see here, the trophy was right there for Pakistan. One massive 6 from Misbah-ul Haq brought them right to the edge of victory. They only needed 6 runs from 4 balls. The hope was electric. But then, a moment of high-risk, high-reward thinking. One mistimed shot, and it was all over. India became the first ever world champions.
But this rivalry, it's not just defined by these razor-thin finishes. It's also a stage for individual players to have these, well, superhuman performances. Moments of brilliance that honestly seem to come from another planet. Let's go back to a test match in 1999. Pakistan was chasing this massive target, 420 runs to win, and man, they started brilliantly. By lunchtime, they were 101 for no loss. The openers looked completely unbeatable, the crowd was getting quiet, and an Indian victory was just slipping away. After lunch, something changed. India's spinner, Anil Kumble, he just switched ends. And by doing that, he began one of the most remarkable bowling spells in the entire history of cricket.
He took the first wicket, then the second. On the very next ball, the stadium just erupted, and he kept going, taking the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, until suddenly everyone realized he was on the verge of doing the impossible.
The final wicket fell. Anil Kumble had taken all 10 Pakistan wickets in the innings. He became only the second man in 122 years of Test cricket to get a perfect 10. A single player had just dismantled an entire team. And decades later, we saw that same spirit of one person just defying the odds in Virat Kohli's 2022 Masterclass. As this timeline shows, the situation was just hopeless. I mean, needing 48 from 18 balls, that's basically impossible in a World Cup match against a world-class team. But then he produces 2 of the most incredible 6s you will ever see, completely flipping the game on its head and somehow snatching a victory in a chaotic final over. But beyond the scorecards and all the statistics, this rivalry is just fueled by these deeply personal stories. It's about on-field confrontations, individual battles, and these powerful journeys of redemption. Okay, so take the 1996 World Cup quarterfinal. Pakistan's opener Amir Sohail was batting super aggressively. He smashes a boundary off the Indian bowler Venkatesh Prasad, and then arrogantly points his bat to the boundary, as if to tell Prasad, "Go fetch the ball." The crowd roared. The pressure was immense. But on the very next delivery, Prasad held his nerve. He bowled Sohail, sending his stumps flying everywhere. It was this perfect moment of instant karma that completely shifted the momentum of a knockout World Cup match. And then there's the incredible story of Mohamed Amir. In 2010, at Lord's, his career was in ruins after a spot-fixing scandal that led to a ban and even jail time. It was the lowest point. 7 years later, just a few miles away at the Oval, he found redemption on the biggest stage of them all, tearing through India's top batsman to win the 2017 Champions Trophy for Pakistan. What a comeback story.
So what is it then? What makes this rivalry so enduring? It's not just one thing. It's like a perfect storm of all these incredible elements just coming together at once. You have the last ball drama where fortunes can just change in an instant. Then you've got these impossible feats of individual brilliance that rewrite the history books. Add in the personal fire between players and these powerful stories of redemption. And all of this plays out under the immense, immense pressure of carrying the hopes of a nation. Which kind of leads us to our final question. With so much cricket being played all year round, why does this one single fixture still have the power to bring over 1 billion people to a complete stop? Well, perhaps it's because this rivalry is a constant, thrilling reminder that sometimes a simple game of bat and ball can mean absolutely everything.